Good morning. Just getting set up here, guys. Okay. Good morning. Happy Monday and happy Mindset Monday. I am happy to be here today for yet some more business chat. And I'm happy that you're showing up, whether you're here live, whether you're going to be streaming at a later date. You can always get these videos on Facebook for about I think it's about 30 days after they're recorded. They'll stay live on Instagram, and you can also check out my YouTube channel, Carrie Davis Consulting. And so I'm Carrie Davis, if you don't know who I am, and my company is Carrie Davis Consulting. And today I want to talk about a topic. Can strangers hurt you or help you? And I want to share a little bit of advice. And this is also the topic of today is stop taking advice from random business forums. This has been weighing so heavy on me, and I'm going to just say for years. This is not recent, and I just watch these business forums and I watch owners that sometimes it's so painful to hear the questions that I hear. And then what I see is random strangers not knowing one thing about the business that they're offering advice to offer critical advice. And I'm talking about big advice, right? So, look, for those of you that don't know me, but after 32 years of building successful businesses, sustainable businesses, and then selling my businesses over the last 2 years, I have seen it all. I have been through it all. I have heard it all. And I've been coaching for the last 30 years. And so, this topic may be a little bit uncomfortable if some of you tuning in are using business forums as your go-to for major advice. I'm not talking minor advice. I'm talking major advice, right? I want you to stop looking to random groups for major business advice. I'm all about community and I love community forums. But for our business, what I love those forums for is I love them to throw out a question like, which blow dryers have you found last the longest? Or where do you source your chairs or your equipment? Or even, has anybody out there done a referral or recruitment program that's worked really well and either brought in a lot of clients or has helped you to bring in more staff? I think those are fine questions and to build community and networking. And that's why we have these forums. But for real questions, right? Like the most recent question I saw on a forum, and this just launched me into why I felt the need to do this live today, was someone asked in the group, how much debt should I take on before closing my business? Super painful question because this is a person who posted anonymously, which of course they would, I would too. This is a person that how I'm reading into this is struggling. They're not profitable. They're probably using their own money. And if they're a new business, yes, we work with working capital and we do use our own money to kickstart a business. But this is somebody that's been in a business for a while and they're struggling. So they're asking the group, how long should I be incurring debt before I think about closing my business? That is so dangerous. Nobody knows what the debt is. Nobody knows about their personal financials. Nobody knows about what their rent is. Nobody knows about how long the lease is and if they default on their lease. Nobody giving advice. And there was probably 60 comments. That is like equivalent to going out to some stranger and saying, should I take a second mortgage out on my house? How are they going to know? Nobody knows your business the way you know your business. And it's dangerous to seek major business advice on forums from people you don't know. You don't know if they're profitable. Somebody that is in the hole could be giving you advice and you think it's the best advice, and then you take it and you're deeper in the hole. So listen, there's two main problems here with doing that. Problem number one is that people in groups are sharing their opinions. They're not necessarily sharing your personal experience. They're only sharing their opinions. So this forum sharing can be for any forum sharing. And I'm even going to go as far as to say, how do I get this certain tone or color when I'm working off this? Somebody just looking at a picture from across from their computer, they're not going to see what's happening with that client's hair to then give you a formula to take the formula. So again, we can't build our future off somebody else's guesses. So that's problem number one. Problem number one is people are guessing based on their own experience, and their experience is not your experience. Problem two, nobody knows your business model. Are you a rental? Are you commission? Are you hybrid? Are you high volume? Are you low volume? Do you have 2 chairs? Do you have 20 chairs with 3 locations? Somebody with a 2-chair salon offering advice to a multi-location business for somebody out there seeking advice on a multi-location business maybe hasn't walked in their shoes. When you are rolling something out and running multiple businesses with 10 to 50 to 100 staff members, it's a different beast to run. So to go onto a forum and say, my staff are talking negatively in the back room, or I have one bad apple that's ruining the bunch, what should I do? Oh my God, there are so many layers in that question. How did they get to the point that they are the bad apple? Who are they talking to? It's so layered. What are they talking about? Some random person is not going to be able to speak from the experience that you're having in your business model. If you're looking for guidance, it needs to match your goals, your numbers, your vision, not somebody else's. And I find that what is problematic is I've coached people for a few decades now, is for some reason, and I struggle with this too, I'm not the best at it, but I know that I have to do it, is if we are looking to our own business, and that's whether we're a business owner, a manager, an educator, a technician, we have to sit down in the silence of our own space. And we have to be able to write down what our own goals are. What profit margin am I looking for? How many staff members am I looking to grow? How much volume do I need to offset the expenses that I personally have with my lease, with my insurance, with how I make payroll? I mean, I see people asking questions on these forums about how they should compensate their staff. And then 100 people are piping in. And I'm reading these responses, and I'm not saying there's no good responses. Yeah, there are some legit responses, but people are responding to a question about a business that they know nothing about. Does that make sense? So for me to throw out there, how should I compensate my team? How should I pay retail? Should I pay up to 60%? And then you have people, well, I pay 60%. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not an accountant, but I am a finance expert in our industry. I am an expert in what benchmarks we need to hit in our businesses in order to be profitable and sustainable. And those are benchmarks for sales and benchmarks for expenses. And I, even as a coach for decades, would not throw out some compensation business model without looking at what all the other elements are in somebody's business in order to come up with a creative compensation business model that's going to work for that specific business. So if you're one throwing those questions out, I love you, but stop it. And if you're one answering these questions based on your own business model, stop it. You may never come back and visit me again, but I'm here to tell you that we do not know how to answer these questions until we do a thorough analysis about the person asking the questions. So a better response, if you're someone that wants to help other people, would say, hey, there are people out there that specialize in this, that can give you guidance based on your business model, not based on my business model, right? And different states have different taxes and different guidelines and different laws about employment, that if you are somebody in California, you're going to have a way different business experience than somebody in Iowa. I'm here to tell you the pricing might be different, the compensation might be different, the rules around what you need to offer might be different. There is no way we can say like for like. What we can do is say, hey, I think your best, the best advice here would be to seek advice from a professional that can analyze where you are and what you need. And not that, we need to be policing these forums because people have free right to say and ask whatever they want. I'm just here to say, in observation of these forums, they have particular strengths, and the strength is in networking with other people and meeting other people and maybe sharing like experiences. But to be sharing or listening or seeking to major business advice, major, again, not who's the best vendor for chairs or blow dryers, or have you used a referral program that works great. Those are not major business questions. Those are minor. Major business questions are, an example, how should I pay my staff? I decided to go commission and I'm not going to do booth rental anymore. Oh my God, so layered. How are you going to transition? What does all that look like? That is a layered process. How much debt, like I said earlier, should I incur before I close my business? How should I handle my one employee that is doing A, B, C, D? Those are major business decisions. How you handle an employee could then be the butterfly effect, how everybody responds to how you handle that employee. So things are not always just what they appear on the outside. Are you guys feeling me? Give me some love in the comments. What are your thoughts on this? What are some of the big questions that you've seen in those forums that you might think to yourself, this is kind of dangerous to be throwing these questions out? There are so many great coaches out there. Yes, I'm one of them, but there's also many coaches out there that can help to analyze your business to be able to give you great advice on how you should move forward for your expenses and your goals and what you're seeking. Okay, let's get into some solutions, right? If you're one of those people and you're like, oh my God, I didn't even realize what I was doing. Or if you're one of the responders sharing what somebody should do, here are some things that I think we need to be doing as business owners. First and foremost, if you chose to become a business owner or a leader, you should have a business plan. What is your business plan for compensation, for recruitment, for retention, for recruiting staff and clients, compensation, operations, finance, leadership, culture, morale? What are your systems and structures to build the kind of business that you envision? You are not going to build the business that you are envisioning to build by crowdsourcing your information. What's crowdsourcing? It's going into a crowd of strangers and asking advice on major decisions in your life, in your business, about staff, about compensation. That's crowdsourcing. Don't be a crowdsourcer. Go to somebody that can help you if you need advice. Now, a great question would be, if you have a major business question, is does anybody work with a business coach that's really helped them with this specific issue? Different coaches are sometimes specialized. There are some people that specialize in hiring. There are some people that specialize in finance, culture, and operations. So a great question would be, who have you guys used and how have they helped you? So that you could then have somebody, again, analyze your business. Our job as owners is to plan, structure, and build intentionally towards a specific vision. You should be asking yourself and sit down and writing this down. What kind of business do I want? What kind of profit margin am I aiming for? What I need? How many employees, how much revenue, how much net profit do I want for my business? Success is planned, not crowdsourced. Once you can answer those questions for yourself, you can start building systems and strategies. And it takes a long time, which is why I think some people just throw these questions out because they're like, maybe I can get some quick fix. Success is not about quick fixes. Success is long term. It's laying down the foundation. It's working the systems you put into place. It's analyzing what you're doing to see if it's working. And if it's not, it's shifting it in each little direction. It's not abandoning it and jumping ship. So let's think about this concept of organizing our business around different pillars. We have operations, education, finance, leadership, and culture. I mentioned that earlier. Let's talk a little bit about what systems or guidelines or areas that you would focus on for operations. So operations would be what program, which salon software would you use? That's an operational piece. So a question, if you want to crowdsource, is what POS or salon software do you use and why do you love it? That you could get people's advice and say, oh, I've never heard of that. Let me go check that out on my own. Not let me go and get that because somebody said it was great. No, let me check it out. And based on my goals, is this going to work for my goals? What works for somebody else may not and probably will not work for you. So operations is, what salon software are you using? What are the guidelines around dress code if you have one? When should people come in? Hours of operation, right? Like operational things. So building systems, scheduling, supplies, ordering, inventory, those are all operations. And if you could make a list of all the things that live under operations, you can then start building strategies and systems under each one of the things that lives under operations so that you can delegate, you can have people help you, and you're not doing it all on the fly. The second pillar is education. That if you want a company that's growing year over year, and I'm speaking from somebody that has built businesses over 32 years, thriving businesses, profitable businesses, multi-million-dollar businesses that then I was able to sell for a nice, pretty penny over the last 2 years. The other week when I did a live, I talked about exit strategies and I talked about build your business now like you're going to sell it tomorrow. And this kind of ties into that. These are the things that have to be in place for long-term success and sustainability. An education program. You want people to come in, learn about your culture, learn about how you operate, learn how to do great work, learn business strategies and how to consult and work with clients. That happens through an ongoing education process where people start at a certain level and you have a stepped up program that people can enter into, filter through a program, get to the other side with the tools they need to be successful technicians. So many people I remember used to come in and apply for a job and say, when we would talk about our education program, they would say, I was at another salon. They said they had an education program, which really was once in a while I would get a class and I would just be shadowing. That's not an education program. An education program has structure. How many times a month is it? How many hours in that month? Do they need models? What can they expect over the course of their education? If you don't have an education program, think about building one to create sustainability and bringing new people in onto the floor so that you can continue to grow in your business. Finances. Guys, this took me years after opening my business to really get a handle on my finances. And I'm a little bit embarrassed to say that, but I know I'm surely not the only one. I'm going to say it took years. And what I used to look at, and some of you that have been following me have heard me say that I would look at the top line, how did we do in sales? And then I would look at the very bottom and say, can we stay in business or not stay in business? Are there brackets or no brackets? If there were no brackets, I thought, okay, woohoo, we can live another month. And if there were brackets, I thought, how much longer can I be in the negative? But the brackets and no brackets don't always tell the full story. In fact, they don't tell a huge part of the story. We have to know how much money we need to bring in order to have the profit, which should be at least a 10% or better profit, after you as the owner are paid. Part of finance is, what are the benchmarks that I should be looking for higher sales? Service per service ticket, retail per client ticket, add-on services, pre-booking. I mean, the list goes on. What are the benchmarks that I should be watching on my financials for my expenses, my rent, my back bar, my product use, the products that I purchase, the payroll? Is my payroll out of whack and compromising my bottom line? You have to become an expert in finance. If you're not, don't put your head in the sand like an ostrich. It's okay. So many people say, I'm not a numbers person. It doesn't mean you can't learn. And I'm here to tell you, it's not hard. Talk to somebody that can help you that knows. So what are the systems around your finance? And when I say systems, I'm talking about ordering strategies. How do you order inside your budget to stay in the benchmark to create profit and sustainability? How much product should you be ordering for back bar? How much color? Does your staff know how to measure so they're not wasting product that's going down the drain and compromising your profitability? All of these things tie into finance, all of them. Leadership. I am going to go out on a limb here and say, I think that I'm a pretty good leader. I am. Some people might watch this and say, well, I worked for you and I think you're a shitty leader. I don't know. I think I'm a pretty good leader. But I'm also going to say, I wasn't born that way. I did not know how to lead people when I opened my business. I didn't know how. I saw people doing things that I didn't envision should be happening in my company. And I didn't know how to talk to people. And I talked to people the way I wanted to be talked to, which was pretty straightforward. But not everybody can handle a straightforward conversation. So we have to learn to become chameleons. We have to learn to be able to, when we're on a green leaf, turn green. When we're on the brown bark, turn brown, right? When we're on the sand, turn beige. We have to learn how to do that. Great leadership is cultivated. It's learned. It's by saying, wow, well, that situation turned out crappy. What's my part in it? What did I do, or what could I have done to make that a better outcome? And as you build and grow, continue to look in the mirror. listen to podcasts on leadership, read books on leadership, work with a coach that can help you with leadership. This is huge. If you want a company that's growing and you want to build morale and you want a tight-knit company, you have to have great leadership. A lot of us weren't born with it. You have to work on it. So what is your strategy for working on becoming a great leader? The last thing is culture. And without a strong culture, you're not going to have a strong team. If you walk in and say, oh, the morale just sucks in here and I don't know why, that means you don't have a great culture. Great cultures are tied to great leadership. Those two things are like siblings. If there's no way you cannot have strong leadership skills and have some great culture. It's the same dynamic is there's no way you can have staff leaving and having crappy retention and expect to have great client retention. Those two things go hand in hand. Those are siblings. You need to have great staff retention to have good client retention. You need to have great leadership to build great culture. People want to follow a leader they can connect with and they feel good with. So it's a lot, okay? Our action steps here are start with your vision. What do you want? Organize your business into pillars. Audit each one. Where am I strong? What have I got? Like I've got this. And where can I seek help? Not on a forum. Who can I work with? And maybe you have a friend that, look, I have amazing people in my corner, and I always have when I owned my businesses. And I had a business coach early on for years when I first started my business because I needed help. And then I cultivated amazing relationships with people that are smarter than me, that are more successful than I was. And I was able to call them and say, here's my situation. I have a question for you. And then also working with business coaches. So it could be layered how you are sourcing your information and building your business. You're going to audit, like I said, each one of those pillars. Where am I strong? Where am I guessing? Where am I crowdsourcing? Stop it. Get mentorship from someone who understands business, finance, and operations, not just how to build a big following online. We didn't have a huge following online, but we're damn profitable. Where do you want to expend your energy? And I'm not saying that online presence isn't important. It is. But when you look at those pillars, I want you to say to yourself, where do I need help? And how can I seek the support that I need, as opposed to crowdsourcing my information and getting quick fixes, which will not support long-term success. I'm here to tell you, of over 32 years, blood, sweat, and tears, happy tears, sad tears, feeling like I'm trying to get to the finish line with bloody knees. Like, being a business owner is not for the weak. It's for people that are willing to be introspective and continue to layer. My clients that I work with, my coaching clients, I have some people that I see for a specific project. Maybe it's 3 sessions. And I have a lot of people that are on memberships that I see them twice a month. The people that I've seen that have been with me for a couple of years, their success is exponential, because getting through all the layers of the pillars takes time. There's no magic wand or crystal ball to tell us what exact thing is going to be the thing that works. So look, I said this in the very beginning, and I'm going to say it upon my closing. Strangers might not be helpful. use the business forums for lightweight questions that you have and networking and building community, not for major business decisions. That is my bit of advice today. I hope that it spoke to you in some way, shape, or form. If you have any questions, if you're looking for guidance, definitely go to, you can find so many of my educational videos on my YouTube channel, Carrie Davis Consulting. Go to carriedavisconsulting.com, sign up for my newsletters. I send a newsletter out probably every other week with a lot of information on it. And reach out if you have any questions. I also do complimentary discovery calls if you are having issues in your business and you want to call and say, what would be the process to help me with this? I am more than happy to help you. Go to my website, Carrie Davis Consulting, click on book complimentary discovery call. I'm more than happy to help you. It's what I do. And I want to thank you guys for showing up. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you have a beautiful week. This coming week, I'm headed to Miami to speak to the Aura Salon Software group of people. I am so excited to be one of their keynote speakers. And so if anyone's going to Miami next weekend, I would love to see you. DM me. I'd love to hook up and have a drink with you. I'll be there for a couple days. So I will see you on this live probably in a couple weeks. And again, you know how to get a hold of me. I hope you guys have a great few weeks. All right. Much success. Mwah. Peace out.